Life is a test. Every day presents challenges, some small, some that shake the very foundation of who we are. And in these moments, when life feels heavy, when the road ahead looks impossible, one thing separates those who rise from those who fall: mental toughness. The ability to push through. Now let's get one thing straight. Mental toughness is not something you're born with. No one comes into this world with unshakable resilience. It's built, it's trained, it's earned, it's forged in the fire of adversity, tested by failure, and strengthened by persistence. And if you truly want to be unstoppable, if you want a mindset that says, no matter what, I will not quit, then you must be willing to train your mind just as you train your body. Your mind is the battlefield where success and failure are determined before you ever take action. Everything starts in the mind. If you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, you've already lost. The way you think shapes the way you act, and the way you act determines your results. That's why mental toughness starts with controlling your thoughts, becoming the master of your own mind. Most people don't lose because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. They lose because they allow doubt, fear, and negativity to dominate their thinking. They listen to that inner voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. You'll never make it. Why even try?" And the moment they believe those thoughts, they stop trying, they stop pushing, and they settle for less than they are capable of achieving. The truth is, your thoughts shape your reality. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, failure, and self-doubt, that's exactly what you'll experience in your life. But if you train your mind to see possibilities, to focus on growth, and to believe in yourself, then success becomes inevitable. Great leaders, athletes, and visionaries all have one thing in common: they control their thoughts. They refuse to allow negative thinking to take root. They replace doubt with determination, fear with faith, and excuses with action. Think about Muhammad Ali. He didn't just become the greatest boxer because of his physical ability. He became the greatest because of his mindset. He famously said, "I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was." He trained his mind to believe it before the world recognized it. His thoughts created his reality. History is filled with examples of individuals who controlled their thoughts to shape their destinies. Winston Churchill led Britain through its darkest hour not by allowing fear to take over, but by choosing to believe in victory against impossible odds. He once said, "A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." His mindset turned fear into courage, and that courage inspired an entire nation. So how do you master your thoughts? How do you take control of the most powerful force in your life? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the way you talk to yourself. When you face a challenge, do you immediately think, "I can't do this," or do you tell yourself, "I will find a way"? Your inner dialogue matters more than you realize. The words you repeat in your mind become the beliefs you live by. You must also learn to guard your mind. Be careful what you expose yourself to. Negative people, toxic environments, and constant complaints will infect your thinking. If you surround yourself with people who constantly doubt, criticize, and make excuses, their mindset will rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with people who push forward, who see challenges as opportunities, and who believe in success, you'll begin to think the same way. Another powerful strategy is feeding your mind with the right information. Read books that inspire you. Listen to speeches that challenge you. Study the lives of those who overcame great obstacles. The more you fill your mind with stories of resilience, perseverance, and achievement, the more you will start to believe in your own ability to do the same. And most importantly, take action in spite of fear. Your mind will always try to convince you to play it safe. It will always look for the easiest way out. But mental toughness is built when you push forward, even when you're scared. When you do the thing you're afraid of, you train your mind to be stronger than your fears. Every day you have a choice. You can allow your mind to control you, or you can take control of your mind. You can let negative thoughts keep you stuck, or you can replace them with thoughts that move you forward. The world belongs to those who master their minds. Be one of them. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every great achievement in history is built on a foundation of setbacks, mistakes, and lessons learned through trial and error. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is how they view failure. The weak see failure as a reason to stop, but the strong see it as a stepping stone. The ones who make it to the top are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who refuse to let failure define them. Take a look at history. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he didn't see them as defeats. He said, "I have not failed, I've just found 1,000,000 ways that won't work." That is the mindset of someone who understands that failure is not a dead end, it is a learning process. Every time something didn't work, he learned, adjusted, and improved until he finally succeeded. The same story repeats throughout time. Abraham Lincoln lost multiple elections before becoming one of the greatest presidents of the United States. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, yet he became the greatest player of all time. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because he was told he lacked imagination. Imagine that. The man who created Mickey Mouse was once told he wasn't creative enough, but he didn't let that failure stop him. He used it as fuel to push forward. So why do most people fear failure? Because society has taught them that failing means they are not good enough. People laugh at those who fall, criticize those who make mistakes, and mock those who struggle. But here's the truth. Anyone who laughs at failure has never achieved anything great. The real winners in life are the ones who embrace failure, learn from it, and use it to grow stronger. The reason failure is the greatest teacher is that it gives you something success never will. Experience. A person who has never failed has never been tested. And if you've never been tested, you don't know how strong you really are. When you fail, you are given an opportunity to reflect, to analyze what went wrong, and to make adjustments. This is how champions are built. Think about Henry Ford. Before he revolutionized the automobile industry, he had 2 failed businesses that left him broke. Most people would have given up. But Ford saw failure as feedback, not as final defeat. He took what he learned, improved his approach, and eventually changed the world with the Model T. So how do you embrace failure? First, change your perspective. Instead of seeing failure as something to fear, start seeing it as a necessary step toward growth. Understand that every mistake brings you closer to success if you learn from it. Second, analyze your failures instead of running from them. Most people ignore their failures or make excuses, but the best way to grow is to study what went wrong. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? Every failure has a lesson hidden inside it, but only those who seek it will find it. Third, develop resilience. Failure hurts, it's discouraging, but champions don't let that pain stop them. They get back up no matter how many times they fall. Remember, success is not about never falling, it's about always getting back up. And finally, take more risks. The more you try, the more you will fail, but the more you fail, the more you will learn, and the more you learn, the closer you get to success. The biggest regret in life is not the failures, it's the chances you never took. Failure is not a punishment, it's a lesson, and those who embrace it will always rise higher than those who fear it. Growth never happens inside the comfort zone. If you stay where it's safe, where everything is familiar, where you never struggle or push yourself, then you will never reach your full potential. The comfort zone may feel good, but it is also where dreams go to die. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, and every transformation happens outside of it. The moment you decide to step beyond what is easy, that is when you start to grow. Look at history. Every successful person you admire, whether an athlete, entrepreneur, leader, or innovator, had to push themselves beyond their limits to achieve greatness. Michael Jordan didn't become the greatest basketball player by staying comfortable. He spent hours in the gym pushing himself beyond exhaustion, practicing more than anyone else. He embraced discomfort because he knew that was the price of greatness. Elon Musk didn't build Tesla and SpaceX by playing it safe. He risked everything, put in relentless effort, and embraced the unknown. The world's greatest minds, whether it was Albert Einstein challenging scientific norms or Oprah Winfrey overcoming a tough past, stepped into discomfort, faced their fears, and kept moving forward. The truth is, comfort is an illusion. It tricks you into thinking you're okay, that you don't need to grow, that you can stay the same and still achieve big things. But nothing great was ever built in a place of ease. The people who win in life are the ones who push beyond their limits, who take risks, who challenge themselves daily. Why do so many people stay in their comfort zone? Because it's predictable. There is no uncertainty, no fear of failure, no struggle. But here's the problem. Comfort leads to stagnation. It keeps you stuck. repeating the same patterns, never improving, never achieving more than you already have. And one day you look back and realize you wasted years avoiding challenges instead of embracing them. To grow, you must seek discomfort. You must be willing to do the things that scare you, to take on challenges that feel too big, to stretch yourself beyond what you think you're capable of. If something feels uncomfortable, that's a sign you're moving in the right direction. Growth is painful, but so is staying the same. The question is, which pain are you willing to endure? The pain of pushing yourself or the pain of regret? Think about David Goggins, one of the toughest endurance athletes in the world. He wasn't born strong. He was overweight, struggling, and full of self-doubt. But he made a decision. He was going to push himself beyond his limits. He trained harder than anyone else, endured pain most people would quit from, and transformed himself into a machine. He became a Navy SEAL, an ultramarathon runner, and an inspiration to millions. His life proves one thing: the human body and mind can go far beyond what we think is possible. So how do you push past your comfort zone? First, do something difficult every day. Train your mind to embrace challenges. Take cold showers, wake up earlier, exercise harder, read more, take on projects that intimidate you. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the stronger you become. Second, take risks. Apply for that job you feel unqualified for. Start the business you've been dreaming about. Speak up in meetings. Introduce yourself to new people. Fear will always be there, but courage is moving forward despite it. Third, stop making excuses. The mind will always try to convince you to stay comfortable. It will tell you it's too hard, you're not ready, maybe later. Don't listen. Start now. And most importantly, never stop growing. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. Keep challenging yourself, keep learning, keep pushing forward, because outside of your comfort zone is where your true potential waits. Motivation is powerful, but it is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. One day you feel inspired, ready to take on the world. The next day you feel tired, discouraged, or distracted. If you rely on motivation alone, you will never be consistent. That is why discipline is the true key to success. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Think of the greatest athletes, leaders, and achievers in history. They didn't wake up every day feeling motivated. Kobe Bryant didn't become one of the greatest basketball players because he was always excited to train. There were days when he was exhausted, days when he didn't feel like getting up at 4 a.m. to practice. But he did it anyway, not because of motivation, but because of discipline. Jocko Willink, a former Navy SEAL and leadership expert, has a famous saying. Look at Thomas Edison. He wasn't motivated every day to invent the light bulb. He failed thousands of times, but he kept going. Discipline means showing up no matter what. It means writing even when you don't feel like it, studying even when you're tired, exercising even when you're sore. It means doing the hard things, the uncomfortable things, the boring things, because you know they will take you where you want to be. The problem with motivation is that it is emotional. It depends on how you feel in the moment, and feelings are unreliable. Michael Phelps didn't win 23 Olympic gold medals because he was motivated every morning. He trained 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, for years. Even on the days when he didn't feel like it, he showed up. That is discipline. History shows that the most successful people in the world are not necessarily the most talented or the most gifted. They are simply the ones who have mastered the art of discipline. Elon Musk works 80 to 100 hours a week, pushing forward despite setbacks. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wakes up at 4 a.m. to train, whether he feels like it or not. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not motivation, it is consistency. So how do you develop discipline? First, set clear, non-negotiable habits. Decide what needs to be done and commit to it no matter how you feel. If you decide to exercise every morning, don't let emotions decide whether you do it. Just do it. Second, remove distractions. Your mind will always find excuses. It will tell you not today, I'm tired, maybe later. The key is to silence those voices and take action anyway. Third, develop mental toughness. When things get hard, don't quit. Push through. Teach your mind that quitting is not an option. When you feel tired, do one more set. When you feel lazy, take one more step. When you feel discouraged, keep going anyway. Finally, be patient. Discipline is a long-term game. Success doesn't happen overnight, but if you stay disciplined, stay consistent, and show up every day, eventually you will achieve results that motivation alone could never give you. Quitting is easy. It's the simplest way out when things get tough, when obstacles seem too big and when progress feels too slow. But quitting guarantees only one thing: you will never succeed. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of triumph happens because someone refused to quit. The truth is, it's always too soon to give up because you never know how close you are to success. Look at Abraham Lincoln. He faced failure after failure, lost elections, business failures, personal losses, but he never quit. He kept pushing forward, and eventually he became one of the greatest presidents in American history. Imagine if he had given up after his first, second, or even third failure. He didn't, because he understood that perseverance is the difference between success and failure. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,0,0,0,0 ways that won't work." That is the mindset of someone who refuses to quit. Most people would have stopped after a few failed attempts, but he didn't. And because of that, he changed the world. The reason most people quit is not because they can't succeed, it's because they don't see immediate results. They expect success to come quickly, and when it doesn't, they assume it's impossible. But history proves otherwise. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking creativity. His first business went bankrupt. If he had quit, the world would never have seen Disneyland, Mickey Mouse, or the empire he built. Success doesn't happen overnight. It happens through persistence, through pushing forward even when everything inside you says to stop. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He could have quit, accepted defeat, and moved on with his life. Instead, he used that rejection as fuel. He trained harder, played smarter, and became the greatest basketball player of all time. Life will test you. It will throw challenges in your path. It will make you doubt yourself. But every time you feel like quitting, remember why you started in the first place. Remember that every setback is a lesson, every failure is a stepping stone, and every hardship is preparing you for something greater. There is a famous story of Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. He was 65 years old, broke, and living in his car when he started knocking on doors, trying to sell his chicken recipe. He was rejected over 1,000 times before someone finally said yes. Imagine if he had quit after 10 rejections, or 100, or 500. He didn't, and today, his name is known all over the world. Quitting is final, it guarantees failure. But perseverance keeps the door open to success. When you quit, you close the door on possibilities. But when you keep going, you give yourself a chance to win. So, what do you do when you feel like quitting? First, remind yourself that struggle is part of the journey. Every successful person has faced setbacks. If they can push through, so can you. Second, focus on your progress, no matter how small. Even slow progress is better than stopping. Third, surround yourself with people who encourage you, who remind you of your potential, and who won't let you give up on yourself. Most importantly, develop an unshakable mindset. Decide right now that quitting is not an option. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes, you will keep going. Because one day you will look back and realize that the only reason you succeeded was that you refused to give up.